Cardano ADA news update for you guys, and in this video we'll look at whether or not DReps, delegated representatives, should be compensated for their time and effort in the community. So we'll look into that, and also some drama or something that's popped up around the Cardano Foundation injecting in a budget request into the marketing proposal for Intersect coming up very soon, and a cry out for transparency or something like that. But we'll go into more details around that and see what's exactly going on. We'll also have a bunch of other news updates as well in this one, so stay tuned. I've got a lot to unpack here. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Peter Bury, and make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell on your way in, and let's get straight into this one here. I've got a lot to talk about. So first off, a reminder for you all, there are these scams going about. If you see a live video saying ADA giveaway or anything like that, and you have to send ADA to an address, that is a scam. If you get airdrop these tokens within your wallet saying, go to this website, we've got a airdrop token giveaway, it's most likely a scam as well. If you look at these various tokens within your wallet on pooltool.io, or if you use Eternal or Gero wallet, they all have these security mechanisms in there that alert you that these are scam tokens. So please be aware of that. There are a lot of scams going on at the moment, and I don't want anyone that watches my channel to tell me that they got scammed. So please do keep an eye out for these scams. All right, let's get into these news topics here. Now, the first rumor that we have here is around DEXScreener, and there's been a lot of repeated tweets, just like this one here, saying something about bringing Cardano tokens to DEXScreener. And for those that don't know, DEXScreener is a real-time DEX analytics platform. So it pulls in all of these tokens across multiple different ecosystems, all these different chains, all these different DEXs across all of DeFi. And it's a really good place to have a look at what's going on, what's trending across the entire crypto space. But for a long time, Cardano hasn't been in here. Solana's been dominating on here, as well as a lot of these other chains. A lot of these are EVM chains. So if you manage to integrate one, you can copy paste and integrate the rest of them. So it's a really easy thing to do. So you know, that's why we don't see Cardano in here, because it works slightly differently and takes a little bit more work. So is it worth their time and effort to do? Now, from what I've heard down the grapevine, DEXScreener is having Cardano native tokens integrated, and we will start to see this website, which gets a massive amount of traffic, people watching and getting alerts about what's happening across all of DeFi. We'll start to see Cardano tokens pumping in here, and it catching the attention of various people that are looking to see what's going on across the space. So this is super exciting to hear. I'll let you know as soon as it comes out, and we'll see exactly what it looks like and what type of rankings Cardano tokens get compared to some of these other meme coins across different ecosystems. And you can see a lot of them do look like meme coins here. They don't look like anything really serious. So hopefully we see some of our really serious Cardano tokens, Cardano projects being listed on here and rising up to the top of the ranks too. So that'll be awesome to see. Now, if you're delegating your ADA to any of Emurgo's or Yoroi's pools, you're going to have to move your ADA delegation here. And this is absolutely crazy. So Emurgo here have put out a Twitter thread, an X thread here, talking about them upgrading their servers, upgrading their pools to brand new infrastructure. So it's more optimized, it's faster, it's better, it's more cost effective for them as well. But in the process, they've actually had to decommission Emurgo 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and now have to redelegate to Emurgo 8. So they're rearranging everything here, and you have to move your ADA around. Otherwise, you won't be earning these rewards. Now, these pools are actually retiring and not being available within a month. So you can see here, these ones are all grayed out. Emurgo 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're all being grayed out, and these are the ones that you need to move to here. You know, the really annoying thing that I find here is that a lot of delegates that stake their ADA, stake it, and then never look at their wallets again. They might look at their wallets in 6 months' time, and a lot of users in this case would miss out on all those ADA rewards and helping to decentralize and secure the network. So this really annoys me. I know, like, Emurgo has operational costs and they have to keep that cost down. But you can actually use your pool keys from Emurgo 1 on the new infrastructure. You could just migrate those pool keys over and have it all on Emurgo 6, and then on the Emurgo 6 infrastructure, and have it named Emurgo 1, so that it wouldn't affect the users, and you still have optimized infrastructure for your pool. So I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't really make sense. But if you are delegated to Emurgo 1, 2, 3, or 4, or Yoroi as well, check your pool, because you may not be getting any rewards very, very soon. So check your wallets, make sure your pool operator is still operating, and move to another pool if you need to. The pools here, they're on the slightly on the higher side. So the Yoroi wallet has this brand new notification here as well. So you can see that the pool is retiring, and it gives you this big warning prompt. Hey, your pool is not earning rewards. Update to continue earning. So you can see that notification there, and you can see here Emurgo 1 retiring. Go to Emurgo new, which is Emurgo 2, and you'll be able to still earn your rewards. Now these here, the estimated return on ADA 5%. That's pretty high. That's pretty good. But the fee here is 3.2%. If you have a look at some other pools, the fee that gets taken out the pools can be a lot cheaper, and you still get a quite nice high return as well. So shop around, have a look at the various pools out there. You can get a better return on your ADA as well as still securing and delegating to the ecosystem, participating in governance and all sorts of other things. So have a look at where your ADA is staked. That's the moral of the story here. Now, this is a pretty interesting security vulnerability that Smorg has mentioned here as well. And it is a vulnerability found in the secure element, the Infineon SLE78 chip. And this is found in the Yubikeys and the Trezor V3. So the Trezor hardware wallet can be compromised. Of course, with the Trezor here, it also mentions that you do require the PIN to sign the message as well when you're signing transactions. So it isn't as useful, but you can extract the private keys from this particular secure element. So this is rather alarming. Now, I do have a Yubikey that could be compromised, but of course you still need the physical device. And the other point here that Smorg puts out that to extract the private key, you do need some serious equipment here, costing up to $10,000 for this particular equipment, but you can extract those private keys within 5 minutes. So overall, not too alarming, because you do need to be able to get that particular hardware device. You do need the hardware to extract it as well. So it is possible, but highly unlikely, because for me myself, if you were to try to hack my Yubikey, you would need to actually find the device. And I was actually going to show you what a Yubikey looked like, but I cannot find where my Yubikey is. So that could be another problem that I have at the moment. But anyway, something to keep in mind if you are looking at hardware devices, if you're looking at a Yubikey to create a private key paper wallet, for example, or if you are looking at a hardware device like a Trezor as well. So there's a lot of other alternatives. This here, the Tangem cards, these things, I've got a video review coming up soon, and also the Keystone hardware wallet. This is a fantastic device. I actually used that one to register as a DRep as well. So that is a really good thing. If you want more reviews about that, I have them coming up on my new channel. Links down below for you guys. So this is a pretty cool and interesting news update that's going live. This is Snek.Fun going live at 2 p.m. UTC. That's midnight for me, so I'll be well in bed by then. But this is another Pump.Fun. It's a clone of what's happening on Solana. We're launching all these meme coins and having a massive amount of trade on there. So this is a collaboration between Snek and Splash protocol, and they're bringing this one out. So they've been working on this for the last 1.5 months to make this a reality, and they are going to bring in a lot of trading volume, a brand new way of putting liquidity onto the DEX as well. So this is going to be pretty exciting, and to see this one come out on the Cardano ecosystem be really, really good. I know a lot of people do not like meme coins. I do not trade meme coins myself. I've always been burnt by meme coins. I do hold some Snek though. I bought some for fun just to see what happens. I lost, I've made a loss on it. So, you know, that's what's going to happen. But I do hold some Snek, and I do like some of the artwork that's going around at the moment. So if you are into meme coins, if you are wanting to explore what Cardano has to offer in meme coins, check out Snek.fun. The website for me at the moment isn't quite up yet, but will be up soon. Snek.fun. You can find out more information, all the links down below. And if I happen to be awake, I'll do a live stream and see what's going on with the platform when it actually launches. Now, this is a cool metric. Smog's been pumping out all these really cool posts at the moment. Plutus V2 contracts have finally overtaken Plutus V1 contracts. So now there is more volume going through V2 contracts than V1. But we could still put almost twice as many scripts in each block by removing the last 12% of V1 transactions. Now, to do this, we still have a lot of liquidity on MinSwap V1. So if you have any liquidity on MinSwap and you haven't touched it in a long time, now might be a good time to start migrating that over to the V2 vaults, V2 contracts, so that you can actually get some of the trading fees back, because a lot of liquidity is moving to the V2 contracts. So the liquidity and the swaps are being routed through that. So you'll be missing out on the trading fees. That's the whole point of providing liquidity, right? You're there for the trading fees. And if the swaps aren't going through those V1 contracts anymore and going to the V2 ones, you're missing out. So make sure you look into moving that liquidity over. I did do a video about this about a month ago when they launched everything. So you can check that one out, links down below, so you have a little bit of a guide on how to move the liquidity over to a MinSwap V2 pool. Very quick, very easy to do. You can actually do it en masse as well. You can do a select all and migrate, and away you go. If you have large amounts of liquidity, I do recommend taking your time and doing it slowly, doing it one at a time, pulling it out manually and putting it back in manually as well. People have told me they've had issues about that, so make sure you look into that before diving deep and moving your liquidity across. Now over to the DReps at the moment, the delegated representatives. At the moment, there are a lot of people that are delegating their wallets to the various DReps in the ecosystem. Now, the only problem here is that the numbers are still very small. It's in the thousands of people that are delegating to DReps, and needs to be in the hundreds of thousands, or as many as possible. We essentially need anyone that is self-custody holding ADA and delegating it to a staple to also delegate it to a DRep, or abstain, or vote no confidence as default options on their wallet, or become DReps themselves. So you do have 5 different options there. So we do need to actually move that progress over the next 90 days. So this is a marketing message that needs to get across to everyone out there that holds ADA. Now this here is a picture of Micah. Micah is the founder and lead developer of Butane, a synthetics protocol that's building a Cardano. They've gone through their second audit, so they could launch anytime really. But this is Micah, and he is currently leading as the #1 delegated DRep within our ecosystem, with 25.8 million ADA delegated to him as a delegate representative. So all hail King Micah at the moment. He is the king and CEO of Cardano with the most voting power, most delegated voting power within the ecosystem. So go Micah. I'm somewhere further down the list. I'm like rank 20 or something. So keep scrolling. I'm there somewhere. Okay, that's embarrassing. I'll stop scrolling now. I'm down there somewhere. You can find me. But thank you so much for everyone that's delegated to me. If you are wanting to find other delegates, you can look through this website here. There's some absolutely brilliant people that have stepped up to be DReps. But if you want to delegate to me, I'll put links and references down below, along with my DRep ID, so you can do so. Now, this has been a widely discussed topic within the Cardano ecosystem, and this is around DReps getting compensated, or even people that are working within working groups, etc., getting compensated for what they're doing. And this is what Alex has to say. Now, Alex does work for the Cardano Foundation But of course, they are also ADA holders and want to be a part of the ecosystem. So just working for the Cardano Foundation doesn't mean they can't participate in governance, etc. Anyway, this is his hot take. Some people calling for DReps, committees, working groups, special interest groups, etc., bureaucracy included, to be compensated in the first year of governance being live on Cardano. That's equivalent to encouraging an entrepreneur to start paying themselves a salary in the first year of operations before they found a market fit, let alone profitability. This is the second take on this. This is the alternative. But it takes time and energy. Yes, it also grants you power and likely benefits you as an early mover in the Cardano governance. Look at the ITN for SPOs. The incentivized testnet for the SPOs, the first movers for staples, they benefited greatly because they were paid with ADA during that time. So all of the SPOs in the ITN phase that produced blocks, they were paid with a lot of ADA because they were up all night working tirelessly to find bugs and fix those bugs in the ITN phase of the blockchain, the stake pools and all that. So they were rewarded quite nicely for all their hard work. And that could be seen as what's happening right now with all of governance. Everyone that is putting in the time and effort and energy at the moment, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of work. Will be rewarded somehow, I don't know how, hopefully well, for all the time and effort that you put into place. Let me read further here for you guys. Find ways to reduce time and energy costs. Find ways to reduce the time and energy costs. You could register a corporate DRep, e.g. Anastasia Labs, or set up a consortium, e.g. Pragma, or band up as a coalition, e.g. Cardano Atlantic, or whatever you want to call it. So this is the idea and concept of, instead of just having yourself as a DRep, get a group together. So get a group. Someone might be an expert in stake pools. Someone might be an expert in governance. Someone might be brilliant at marketing. Someone might be excellent in business operations and onboarding new businesses. So having that wealth of experience that is spread across different sectors, different verticals, and coming together as one single delegate representative, as a collective, means that should be less work because you are specializing in different areas, and that person that specializes in it for a particular vote, a particular governance action that comes up can concentrate on that one. So you don't need to work as much. I do like that idea. Maybe I will form a coalition like that, so it could reduce the amount of time and effort that I put into a lot of this stuff. At the moment, still very early days, and I suspect a lot of these governance actions, there won't be too many of them over the first year at least. So we'll see how things go. The whole governance era I see as being very fluid. I may have to abstain from certain things because there might be conflict of interest in what the actions are. In those cases, I expect delegates to me to move their votes elsewhere so that their voice can be heard. So that's how I see it happening. I don't see like me holding a massive amount of voting power forever. Delegates should be active and seeing what's going on in the ecosystem and move their votes around. But anyway, I don't see the amount of work being high in the first year, but we'll see. Okay, further here, Alex writes, and if you can't fulfill the role as a volunteer due to time and energy costs, find someone that will. If there is ever a tide that can lift all boats for Cardano, it's the community optimizing towards getting things done, adoption in a cost-efficient manner. I totally agree with that. Now, the other thing that I'd like to bring up here, I've done these roles before. I've done governance roles. I've done volunteer roles in open source communities. I did a lot of work in the Joomla content management system space a long time ago, back in 2013, 14, 15, around there. And I put a massive amount of time and energy, volunteer work into that ecosystem to try and drive the adoption of that content management system. I burnt out and I never went back. I burnt out and I hated it so much that I actually gave up that content management system and moved elsewhere where my time, energy, and effort was better placed and gave me a better return. That is something I don't want to ever happen to me in the Cardano ecosystem. I don't want to be in the position where I burn out. I put in all this time and energy, and there have been times where I have suffered burnout and I disappear for a month and then I come back. So I can see the signs when things happen, and I just put the brakes on, walk away from everything and just take a bit of a break. It does happen, but hopefully that doesn't happen in the Cardano ecosystem for myself and I disappear forever. I've managed to stick around for just over 3 years, so we'll see how things go. Anyway, let me have a look at some of these opinions that other people are saying within the ecosystem. This is an opinion from Stake with Pride. I do not vote for DReps or ICC compensation. I'm a conservative in treasury spend and monetary changes in the system. There are plenty of governance structures with no compensation. School boards, Linux, Apache Foundation, list is very long. I agree with that. The Apache Foundation, Linux, they support so many organizations. They get a lot of donations from businesses and etc. And a lot of the work is all volunteer based. They do cycle through a lot of people though as well. People volunteer, they work for a while and then they disappear. They lose a lot of talent. Anyway, with a sub $1 ADA, we really need to watch our spend. I totally agree with that. Until ADA is well above, $1, $2, $3, we really need to watch what happens with the treasury. There isn't that much ADA really that's in there, but once that's gone up in value, hopefully it does go up in value very soon, we can spend a little bit more. We can spend a little bit more ADA equivalent to USD, for example, and it makes things a lot easier. Now, it's interesting to note that in the constitution, the interim constitution that we have at the moment, there is this section in here about DReps being compensated. So it has been thought of and put in place. Let me just read this for you, especially for those that are listening on the audio podcast. DReps may be compensated for their efforts to foster the creation of a professional governance cohort for the Cardano blockchain ecosystem. DReps shall ensure that any compensation received in connection with their activities as a DRep is disclosed. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from the treasury. It could be coming from third-party sources or whatever it is. Just to say, I guess if there's a conflict of interest from the type of compensation they get, like say someone's paying me, lobbying me to do a particular vote. So there could be compensation. But I've mentioned this in other videos as well. If you want to see the constitution, I'll put a link to it. This is in the GitHub repo, which is just a working document. But you can see the constitution, full constitution document, and you can do the keyword searches, etc. But there has been talk about reward schemes for DReps and a lot of different models that have been thought about as well. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but Ada Yoda, the guy that poses as a little Yoda picture in his avatar profile. But he put together these various diagrams that talk about how DReps could be compensated for their time and effort. So there may be a rewards pool, total rewards, for every governance action that's put on chain. So you may be asking for 1 million ADA in terms of a treasury pool. And a part of that is a rewards compensation for the DReps for their time and effort to look into that particular governance action and vote accordingly. So that would entice DReps to come in and do the work necessary to give a good vote and a good guidance to the community in regards to what governance action should happen. So there's 5 different models here. I talked about the different models, and there's like fair models. There's more models that are biased towards the people that have a lot of delegates. So there's different ways to look at this. So there are a lot of models here and different ways that DReps could be compensated, and there is conversations around this now anyway. So let me know what you think down below. Leave a comment down below. Do you think DReps should be compensated? Should volunteer time be compensated at some point in time? Maybe after a year's worth of work, maybe after 2 years, whatever it is. Let me know what you guys think. It's, as for me, I saw another poll, I can't find it, but someone asked, how much time per week would you see being feasible to being a DRep? So it went from like a 10 hours a week, 5 to 10 hours, 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, or 40, 50 hours a week. And the poll result was roughly 10 hours a week at the most. So if the role of a DRep as a volunteer is 10 hours or less per week, I think that's feasible. You could put the time and effort into making adequate and good directional votes for governance actions out there. So hopefully we do stick around that. Otherwise, I would probably have to step down as a DRep because I just do not have that type of time if it goes up to 40, 50 hours a week. Now, this was a little bit of an unfortunate side effect of the Chang hard fork. And one of them was the costing models around the reference scripts. Now, I mentioned it. It didn't click to me in my mind. All I knew that was, they're putting a cost on adding in a reference script to a transaction so that we didn't have that DDoS attack, again, that spam attack that we found in the Cardano ecosystem. But as a result, this is from Peruto. Peruto works for MinSwap. And what they've noticed here now is that what normally would cost them 0.3 ADA to do a batching transaction now costs them twice as much, 0.6. So now overall trading on Cardano, because you're pulling in these reference scripts, so you're doing one transaction and you have to execute a couple of smart contracts. Because of that, and you're adding in more smart contracts into that execution, you are now suddenly seeing more expensive transactions. So this will hurt the DEXs actually, because this is a particular type of transaction that the DEX performs themselves to send it back to you. So if you've ever traded on a DEX and they said there's a 2 ADA fee, this is what it's for. This is what it covers, this inclusion of this script, the reference scripts. Now, at the moment, a lot of the DEXs are doing a discount and they're doing a promotional cost here, and they removed it and put it down to 1 ADA. And putting it down to 1 ADA isn't feasible. It means that it's going to cost them more and put them possibly out of business because it's costing them too much to run the infrastructure, etc. So expect costs to go back up. There was a nice honeymoon period when Plutus V2 contracts went out, and before this Conway hard fork, we saw transactions on DEXs fairly cheap, and we had these batcher fees very cheap at 1 ADA. Not for long, not for long. We are going to see those fees go up. There is a comment down here about how it works with Sunday Swap here from Ray. There's a governance process that they go through to talk about their fee structure and how things are going, and handling that cost and upgrading and tweaking it and bring it back up. So here we go. Raise fees, great for users. Yeah, not so much. But if it costs you money to operate these DEX infrastructure bits and pieces, you're going to have to pay for them. Otherwise, the DEX will go out of business. Unfortunately, that's how it works. So at the moment, I do see the fees going up at this point in time. Maybe they go back down when the price of ADA goes up as well. So hopefully they can afford it then, because the price of ADA has gone up. They can pay for the infrastructure in fiat and then reduce the cost in ADA to make the trading volume go up as well. Because as soon as ADA starts going up and we're still trading, it's going to cost us a lot more money. So hopefully they work this one out, adjust the cost for now, and then adjust it again when the price of ADA goes up again. All right, last news story for you, and this one is around the inclusion of the Cardano Summit budget for 2025 in the marketing working group's budget. So the drama here, let me just go to Shaggy's post here. The inclusion here that they saw was the addition of the summit within this particular budget, and there are budget limits. Roughly 15 million was what the marketing group was settling on, but then adding in the Cardano Summit pushed this budget up to 18 million. So that was a large increase and could potentially make things a lot harder for the marketing working group to get their proposal and budget across. Now, what Shaggy was complaining about here was where's the transparency? Where's this 3 million ADA come from? How did you derive that number? And he was up in arms about it now, and very vocal too, like cancel the Cardano summit for 2025. Anyway, Hosky got on board. He wanted some transparency. Now I went to check the Discord server, and I checked to see what was going on here so I could report on it more clearly. Unfortunately, what happened here was I think Shaggy put this post out way too early. And this is very similar to the 3UTXO situation when they had their pitch deck released way too early. There wasn't any context behind it all. There wasn't any understanding of what's going on. So the Cardano Foundation put in that particular price tag for their summit, but no one had asked them for context yet. So they just put it in as a draft. You know, it's a work in progress, and no one had asked them for that particular data. So all they had to do was ask for the data to be included in there, and then they can work out the budget accordingly. So this is another one of those situations where it's like, you know, we'll put down the information that we think we need around this. What else do you need to put in this document to make it better? So it's just another moment where there's just drama for the sake of drama. So if you see this one, don't worry about it. It's a nothing burger. The Cardano Foundation, from what I could see within immediately seeing this, like, why didn't you ask us for the data that you want? We're more than happy to provide it to you to make this the best process possible. So there will be that data for the summit for 2025. There will be a Cardano summit then as well. So hopefully I can get to one of these summits one day. Otherwise, if they rip out this Cardano summit, I would have never been to an official Cardano summit. That'd be very disappointing. Anyway, that's all the news items I have for this episode. Leave a comment down below. There seems to be a lot of drama around at the moment, and I think it's all very unnecessary. It makes crypto Twitter interesting at least. But leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of what's going on. Should DReps be compensated for their time and effort work? Are you a DRep? Do you think you should be compensated for it? Or should it be all purely volunteer-based work to better the Cardano ecosystem in a capital efficient way? And if you're working in one of these working groups, how are you guys going? I chime into some of these working groups in Intersect to try and see where things are at, what's going on. But you know, there's so much conversation there. If you're watching this and you just want to vent, leave a comment down below as well. I'd love to hear from you so I can get a better understanding of how you actually feel in working over the last few months on these working groups for these budget proposals. It's not an easy job, but you know, thank you so much for doing it. Anyway, hit the like, hit the subscribe button on the way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.